Hello and welcome to another video on my channel. I actually wanted to film an intro of myself talking, but uh, I look like shit today and it wasn't working out. But today I will be drawing a bunch of Chainsaw Man characters. I'm gonna do like a whole spread of Chainsaw Man doodles with these pens. I'm just gonna sort of free ink it, as in no sketching, no guidelines, whatever, because I really like and I really enjoy drawing like in that style. And it's sort of become my style now anyway, because when I try to draw with pencil and try to make it look very neat and all that, it gets very nerve-wracking. I just don't like that. But anyway, yeah, this video I'll be doing like a full spread of Chainsaw Man doodles, drawings, sketches, whatever you want to call them. And I will be talking about my opinions on the show, on the characters and everything. I guess given the fact that I just finished it for the first time ever, like literally just today. I watched the last episode today. And I know I'm several months late to this I'm several months late to this trend, or this game, or whatever you want to call it. I'm several months too late. But sometimes you don't have the opportunity to watch even the most hyped up animes until a long time after, because life and laziness gets in the way these days. Genuinely, sometimes I'm feeling way too lazy to even watch anime. I don't know where that comes from. How can you be too lazy to watch anime? So yeah, I guess I'm going to talk about a bunch of things. And even though I am starting off this spread drawing Makima, I want to talk about her much later on in the video, because I have so much to say about Makima. Even though this drawing is going to start with her, I'm going to start talking about other things. In general, I did enjoy the anime. I guess this is gonna be some kind of review, rant, whatever bullshit you want to call it. I just want to talk about it while I draw. Anyway, I tend to just ramble about meaningless shit while I draw anyway. At least this time there's going to be a theme to it. So, first of all, I thought the animation was absolutely beautiful, but then again, MAPPA does keep its animators locked in a basement and held at gunpoint, so that's not very surprising. One thing I really appreciated a lot is the fact that every single episode has a different ending, song and animation, and that must have taken such a lot of budget and so much of effort. And every single one of those ending credit animations was just so fucking good. They were so good. So I really appreciated that. And I think some people probably just did not even notice this, because we have a habit of just skipping the ending, especially when there are no post-credit scenes for the vast majority of the episodes. But if you did miss the fact that there are different ending animations and songs on every single episode, I really would recommend going back and just watching those, because I think that's one of the best parts about the whole anime. That was so impressive. That was so cool. I guess another thing I want to mention right at the start is that when I remember when the anime first got announced, a lot of people were comparing it to Jujutsu Kaisen. A lot of people were saying it's a lot like Jujutsu Kaisen. I didn't think it was. There are some similarities. Obviously, the fact that it was done by MAPPA and it also has really good animation and shit did sort of make it look like Jujutsu Kaisen, and the whole thing with the devils sort of being like this world's equivalent to curses, I guess, was a bit like Jujutsu Kaisen. But I'm gonna say it like right now, I like Jujutsu Kaisen a lot more than Chainsaw Man. Like with JJK, it took me like no time at all to like be fully immersed in the story and like really get attached to a lot of the characters. Like I liked pretty much every character like almost from their introduction. Um like they grew on me pretty fast in Jujutsu Kaisen. But the same can't be said for like the cast of Chainsaw Man. It took me a long time to come to a point where I actually cared about any of these characters. I don't know why. I think it was probably the pacing of the story and the way it progressed. Also, we don't get to meet a lot of the characters, or like at least see what they're really all about until a little bit later on. So maybe that was it. But just, I mean, so far we have only one season of Jujutsu Kaisen and one season of Chainsaw Man, and just on that comparison, like just comparing the first seasons, I like Jujutsu Kaisen a lot more. I'm not a manga reader. I do not have the time for that. I would read the manga if I had the time, but also a lot of the Jujutsu Kaisen manga has been spoiled for me, and every single thing I hear about it is not good, as in the sense that terrible things keep happening to characters. And apparently the JJK manga is pretty notorious for that, but also the Chainsaw Man manga has is notorious for being kind of unhinged and like having a weird updating schedule, I think. So I remember there was a time people were just talking about Fujimoto, like sort of putting Chainsaw Man on hiatus and then completely forgetting about it, and then announcing he was starting a new manga, and everyone was like, but what about Chainsaw Man? But yeah, let's end the comparisons there. And maybe I can talk about Chainsaw Man itself. Okay, if you see like right now in the video, I was trying to draw Denji. I was gonna say Gen Z. And he looks fucked up. I don't know what the fuck happened to this Denji. I think the problem is because I started drawing him with his, like, from his hair. He looks really fucked up there. And yeah, I drew like a little Aki there, which also looked fucked up, so I covered it. And I'm gonna draw like a better Aki like right now. Anyway, talking about like the characters, I really liked Denji though, like from the start. He was like, I don't know, I got attached to Denji, but it took me a lot of time to give even a little bit of a shit about any of the other characters. I'm so sorry. But I liked Denji from the start. Denji and Pachita, and like their relationship was so cute. Now, of course, I felt like really bad for him because this guy lived like such a shitty life, but also he was a likable protagonist. So that's that. So I did care about Denji from the outset. But why why does everyone that Denji like comes across, why are they all trying to like manipulate him or groom him? And bro thinks he like hit the jackpot, like just coming across so many hot women who want to manipulate him and use him and groom him. You initially, I didn't take that very seriously because there is, there's like a sort of culture, I guess, within just like anime and manga in general, where the protagonists or like the main characters of the thing, they are just they're always high schoolers, or they're always 17 for no reason, and it has absolutely no bearing on the story or the way the characters act or the way other people treat the character, and it's just a thing, and these characters don't even look or act their age, and like you completely forget about the fact that they're like supposed to be a high schooler because they look like a grown-ass adult and everyone treats them like a grown-ass adult. So I assumed it was going to be one of these cases where we just never acknowledge that Denji is like 17. So I was really surprised when they did bring up his age, and everyone was like surprised by it. Oh shit, like you're still underage, right? And I assumed I assumed someone would do something about it. At least, okay, I mean, I knew from the start that Makima definitely had ulterior motives. Like she wasn't playing Denji just for the fun of it. Like she had some kind of end goal in mind. But Himeno was just doing it for the fun of it. And when she heard that he was 17 or 16, I think, she was like, oh shit. Like, as in she clearly had thought that he was an adult all this time. So I assumed it would stop there, but no, it didn't. It just got worse. And then she was like, oh, you know that it's illegal to do this kind of thing with a minor. But that didn't stop her. So that whole time I was like, that's very sus, bro. But I mean, I don't take it seriously because it's fucking anime. Like, what do you expect? That it could have been a lot worse. I'm just saying, we've seen a lot worse in anime. But yeah, that was like a bit of a surprise moment. But yeah, I guess I didn't like Power at first, like, just because I'm drawing her right now, and this drawing also turned out fucked up. I don't like it, but it's too big to cover with anything, so I ended up not covering it. I didn't like Power at first, because she was just annoying. I'm sorry, she was annoying at first, but she did eventually grow on me, like, towards the end, and I do like her now. I like that she's kind of dumb, and that's actually really charming. But I did not like her initially, and I have to admit that. Like, it took a really long time for her to grow on me. And Aki as well. I didn't like Aki at the start. Like, I was just completely indifferent to him. And the whole, like, most of the runtime of the show, I was just wondering, like, what is the big deal with this guy? Like, I remember there being so much hype around this guy, and people who were, like, watching the anime for the first time were so hyped up about Aki, and they thought he was, like, the coolest, hottest dude ever. I just did not see it. But again, towards the end, he did grow on me, and I do like him now, but, like, I still kind of don't see it. But maybe, just maybe, Aki, I mean, he's not really my type when it comes to, like, anime men either. So I guess I'm not really one to judge that. But I do like him. I did end up liking him. Like, I feel so bad for the guy. This guy has been dealt, like, such a shit hand in life. Like, even the contracts he has with, like, various devils, he seems to just have, like, such shitty deals. Like the cursed devil one, like, that's such a shit deal. Like, he can't even use this fucking sword without, like, shaving off big chunks of his lifespan. And, like, just remind me again, like, what is the point of that? What is the point of that power if he can't even fucking use it? Like, I mean, maybe, yeah, there's probably something deeper to that, and I am only in the first season, but that just seemed like such a raw deal to me. Yeah, his deal with, like, the fox devil thing, such a shit deal. I'm just telling you, like, Himeno had to sacrifice, like, just one eye, and she got, like, this powerful devil, right? Aki gave so much, and, like, his powers are, like, so severely limited, despite, you know, because of the huge price he's paying for them. And I guess that is sort of the point, but just compared to, like, some of the others that we come across in the show, he just seems to have gotten such a raw deal. But that's what makes it interesting, I guess. Okay, like, well, let me finally talk about Makima. This is the only part of this video that really matters, right? I love Makima. To nobody's fucking surprise, I love Makima, but I do have a trend of um just appreciating characters who are absolutely terrible people. Then again, I am literally a Hisoka sim, so is it surprising to anybody that I like Makima? But I didn't like her at first either. I only liked her after we actually witnessed her power, and I was like, holy shit, that's so fucking badass. But not to mention the fact that it is so rare to come across female characters who are absolutely batshit terrible people in like any form of media, not just anime. And I'm really appreciative of the fact that Chainsaw Man gave us, okay, actually not even just one female character who's like an asshole or like a terrible person, because most of the female characters in this show are kind of bad people, and I really like that. But Makima, of course, stands out because she's the worst, and I really appreciate that. And I'm so curious about her powers and like what her contract is with whatever devils she has a contract with, what price she's actually paying for it, because she has such a fucking sick power. It's so badass. And I really love how just cold and calculating and manipulative she is, but at the same time she's able to just effortlessly come across as like the warmest person ever when she's like interacting with somebody that she's either working with or has like some ulterior goal, ulterior motive to like manipulate or whatever. Again, I don't know exactly what Makima's motivations are because I'm not a manga reader and I like only watched the first season of the anime. But that's definitely something there, right? She's definitely not a good person, and she definitely has some goals going on. But I am really curious to learn more about her. I think she's the character I'm just the most invested in, like that I actually really want to know more about. Also, did I mention her powers are so fucking sick? That was so cool. I loved that entire sequence where she was just like crushing people left, right, and center and just killing them in the most gory manner, and it was really sick. It was really sick, I'm gonna lie. But then there's okay, with what the other characters I completely forgot to talk about. There was a one girl with the clips. What was it? Kobeni? Was that her name? I don't know. She really annoyed me at first, but then she turned out to be like a badass, but also, the sort of whole, I feel like it's a Zenitsu sort of situation where the more fear there is, the more powerful they're able to be. I don't know. I don't know what her contract is. I don't know what her powers are, but the little bit that we did see was pretty sick. So I do appreciate her as well. Actually, I appreciate all the female characters in this show because every one of them is a terrible person in some way or the other, and that is so rare to see. So just on those grounds alone, I like her as well. I guess Angel was a little bit of a disappointment, like not because of anything he did. It's just that people again hyped him up so much, and when this show was airing for the first time, people were just talking about him a lot, and I assumed he would have a bigger role to play in the first season than just showing up in, I think, the last episode for like 10 seconds of screen time, because people were talking about him like so much, and like, people were like hyping up the ship, like him and Aki, and I assumed we would see like some chemistry, because I mean a lot of people, everyone was talking about it, and seriously all the artists that I was following on like Twitter and Instagram were suddenly drawing it. And this was just after watching the anime, like not even people who'd read the manga. So I thought that we would have like some interesting interactions at the very least, but there was none of that. So I'm assuming all of that just comes later on in the anime. So I guess I'm just really puzzled with what people saw from just the like 10 seconds of screen time in the anime, but it's entirely possible that, you know, people have just come across things from manga as well, because it happens. Even if you're on anime only, it's very easy to just come across like details and things from later on in the manga, and that easily influences your opinion as well. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see on that front. At this point in the drawing, I realized that I wanted to draw some of the devils, but obviously there's no space. There's no space left in the page, so you'll see me like a little bit later on try to squeeze some in, just to fill in the blanks. And I really wish I just had flipped the page over and just drawn some of the devils, because some of them looked pretty sick. Not gonna lie, a lot of the devils looked kind of stupid. The samurai knife, katana, whatever, that guy looked really fucking stupid in my opinion. But the snake one looked really sick. The ghost devil, I think, had my favorite design because it just looked so weird. It just looked so bizarre and weird and interesting, and I really liked that. The fox devil looked really sick. What were the other ones? I think in this, later on in this drawing, you'll see I attempt to squeeze in like the spider devil, I think, into like one of the spaces left. And I really liked that design too. It looked really sick. Honestly, I think some of the devils look really cool, but some others look extremely stupid. At this point, I don't know what the gun devil looks like, but I really hope the gun devil isn't like, you know, the fucking samurai guy with just like a gun protruding from his forehead and like, I don't know, guns protruding from his arms, because see, that design works for the chainsaw devil, that design works for Chainsaw Man, but it looks really stupid with some of the other weapons and what have you, right? Also, if the pen is moving really jankily on the screen at this point, it's because I think I sped up the video too much. I did not notice this was happening until just now. I'm very sorry about that, but we are nearing the end, so I guess I'll have to wrap up this commentary. So yeah, final thoughts. I did end up really enjoying the show, especially towards the end, even though it took me a really long time to get to that point where I was, you know, actually invested and enjoying the show. But then again, it is only the first season. A lot of extremely significant things did not happen until, you know, until we got like towards the end. And I really like that somehow they managed to, in the last 2 episodes, just wrap up everything in a way that actually made me invested in whatever the future of the story is going to be. So thank you for watching. Thank you for watching my video and listening to my extremely long commentary, and I'll see you next time. Thank you. Please like and subscribe.